DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are talking about frameworks, selling your frameworks, and using frameworks to sell speaking and coaching. Now, what is a framework? Why does it matter? I talked about this in a previous video. First of all, a framework is a structure that helps you organize your knowledge, help you organize anything. It could be knowledge, it could be anything. A table of contents in a book, the syllabus that your professor gives you, all of those are frameworks. If you sign up for personal training and your trainer tells you, all right, this is how I'm going to train you, this is how often we're going to work together, that's a framework. They're letting you know how everything is going to go. When someone just lays out for you everything that you're going to get in a package, that is a framework. It's an organization and a structure telling you what's going to happen. Now, if you want to sell your intellectual property, you must get good at creating frameworks and leveraging your frameworks, because that's really what's going to help you sell your stuff. And I'll explain to you why that is. Now, you saw the video where I talked about frameworks, especially when it comes to intellectual property. Intellectual property is just knowledge that you have in your head. It's something that holds value, but it's not a tangible thing. It's not something you can hold in your hand, but you can hold it in your head, and it's very much worth money. Now, if you want to get a speaking gig, if you want to get a coaching client, the way that you get them is not the way that most people think, which is just showing people how smart you are, how knowledgeable you are, how much information you have, and how many things you have achieved up to this point. Now, while it is possible, and it has happened many times, happened for me many times, maybe you've done it, it's possible to get coaching clients and land speaking gigs just by showing people how smart you are, how much information you have. But at the same time, that's not the strategic way to do it. If you want to do it strategically to the point that you can actually get people to sign up with you just because you're doing it in a strategic way, you're doing it in order, and you're doing it on purpose, then the way that you do it is you have to have a framework in place. And what a framework is you letting people know, this is the outcome that I'm going to help you achieve, and here are the steps that we're going to follow to get it. So if you've ever signed up for somebody's course online, they showed you the framework of what you're going to get in the course. They say module 1, you're going to learn this. Module 2 is this. Module 3, module 4. And that's the exact same way that somebody sells a speaking gig. Now, the difference between a course and a speaking gig is usually with speaking gigs, it's a conversation you have with a person. You let them know your framework. All right, I'm going to give you this, and this. I'm going to help you achieve these outcomes. Here are the things that I'm going to let your audience is going to know this. Or you can even ask them, hey, what is it you want your audience to get out of this? And then you can tell them how your framework will actually help them get that outcome. And you can give some examples. Well, look, I helped this company do this. I helped these people do this. I gave this speaking gig at this company. They're similar to yours. Is that a similar thing to what you want? These are all different ways that you can sell your intellectual property through frameworks. When you're selling coaching, it depends on the kind of coaching you're selling, because coaching is sold in a lot of different ways. But let's just say you're selling coaching in such a way that you have a website up and you're showing everybody exactly what you're offering, and anybody can sign up for your coaching right there on your website. You're going to lay out the framework. All right, this is the first thing I'm going to help you learn. Then that's going to lead into this. That's going to lead to this thing. That's going to lead to that thing. That is you giving everybody the framework of what exactly you're going to help them do. That is a framework. And when you have a framework in place, it's much easier for you to sell your stuff, because when someone comes to you and says, all right, I have this problem, you say, okay, well, I help people do this, and let me tell you how I'm going to do it. Because that's the bridge, that's the glue that helps people understand, yes, I'm here with the problem, I want to be there with the solution, but how do I know that this person actually knows what they're talking about? How do I know this person is actually going to give me some real value? How do I know what this person is going to do is actually going to work? The way that they know is by you sharing the framework. All right, this is what step 1 is. Here's step 2. Here's step 3. Here's step 4. And we're going to do these things. Now, inside of each of these steps, you don't have to be so vague. You can say clear. You can say in plain English, look, in this step, we're going to do this, and that's going to lead to this result. At this step, we're going to do this. That's going to lead to this result. When we do this, we'll take care of this problem, that problem, that problem. That's going to lead to this result. So each step in your framework doesn't have to be one sentence or one word. For example, again, I talked about this in the previous video. My book, Work on Your Game, you can put a whole chapter to explaining one step in a framework. So the steps in your framework don't have to be just one little piece or one little thing that you're giving people. It can be, we're going to do all these things, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and it's going to lead to this result. So keep that in mind when it comes to using your frameworks. But if you want to sell speaking gigs, you want to sell coaching, you want to sell courses, you want to sell books, anything that you want to sell is intellectual property, meaning you have to explain it to people. You can't just tell them, you have to explain it and they have to understand it. you want to use frameworks. Use frameworks as much as you possibly can. They help you sell your stuff. They help you make sense of what you're doing. They help you get results with everything that you're putting out there. So if you are, everybody who's watching this is inside a university. I'm not even putting this up on YouTube for free. I'm putting this inside the university for those of you who are serious about getting those frameworks working. I want you to tell me what frameworks you're working on right now. Do you have your frameworks in place right now? What is it specifically you are looking to or want to sell? And let's make sure that you get your frameworks where they need to be so you can get your intellectual property out of your head and actually on paper so we can get it to the people who actually need it, and you can start making money from it, they can start getting value from it, and everybody wins and we all live happily ever after. So we are all here already in Work on Your Game University. So leave me a comment, tell me how you're going to utilize this, and make sure you get my daily text, daily motivation text, 305-384-6894. Work on your game.